because we've got two teams here you cannot really get a handle on, because Leicester versus Aston Villa. Leicester at plus 175, Villa at plus 150. Leicester draw no bet at home is plus 105. Now both these sides can score goals and both can ship a few goals, because you've got Leicester plus 140 to score twice and Villa at plus 125 to score twice, which is very strange that we've got Villa as favourites at plus 150. Under over is still set at 2.5, with the over being favourite just at minus 115. Stinch, Leicester Villa. If I knew what Villa was turning up, I would probably definitely go for Leicester.
Yeah, I was quite surprised to see actually that Steven Gerrard has lost more games in charge of Villa than he's won. He's had 20 matches in charge and yet to really get his mark on the team. He's 4 straight defeats now, just 6 clean sheets in those 20, and they've conceded on multiple times on 8 occasions. So something's not working. And bear in mind, they had the investment in January with Coutinho coming in on, obviously, like you'd imagine, for big money, big wages. So I would have to say Gerrard so far has underachieved, and it's kind of strange that we keep seeing Villa chalked up as favourites every week, isn't it? We talked about them when they were away to Wolves, and I kind of suggested that, okay, Wolves are missing Neves and Jimenez, so okay, we can allow for that. But again, they're favourites here, and it's like, how long can we keep kind of accepting that that's the right price? The only problem is in trying to ascertain whether or not they should be favourites is just not knowing what Leicester team Rodgers is going to pick with their involvement in the Europa Conference League. The semi-final is going to be next week against Roma. Will all eyes be on that? Possibly. That's the only consideration, but that's something that we can't quantify. They're playing on Saturday rather than Sunday, so that's an extra day's rest. So probably the games in between Roma is going to be when we want to oppose Leicester. So probably next weekend for definite we want to be opposing Leicester. I'm just going to keep going down the same route, to be honest, because Leicester still can't defend. I'm going to go for over 2.5 goals at minus 115. I mentioned it time and time again. The goals that Leicester are conceding it's not in keeping with a team that is on the same wavelength, I would say. I think because they had so many injuries, there's so many different players that's trying to slot in these different positions. They played 3 at the back, they played 4 at the back, played 5 at the back. With the rotation, it's just causing problems. Just 7 clean sheets in the last 46 games. Over 2.5 goals has come in 31 of those. So you're looking at 67% strike rate. These odds here suggest around about sort of 53%. So yeah, quite happy to take the overs. And we consider Villa should be really good going forward. But you're right, we just don't know which Villa is going to turn up. But having said that, we know they're vulnerable at the back. 2 attack-minded fullbacks, Tyrone Mings, who probably shouldn't be anywhere near a Premier League team, let alone the England World Cup squad. So yeah, this is my sort of favourite bet of this weekend is the overs.
Okay. And now the other one, Mark, ahead, I've got to just give you a little bit more meat on the bone, is Leicester play midweek at weekends, like Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, and they've had no break. Also, they played midweek on a catch-up game, but Villa will come into this game very, very fresh. They've had all week to prepare. Is that why that they are the favourites at plus 150?
Yeah, for sure. That's certainly one element here. Leicester played Wednesday, then play Saturday, and obviously have that game against Roma on Thursday. And Villa have actually been off for 2 weeks as well, so they'll be well rested, having not played last weekend either. So, yeah, I mean, that's something to bear in mind. Brendan Rodgers has rested and rotated his team, basically fielding a weekend team and a midweek team in the past couple of weeks. Jamie Vardy trained on Thursday. There's talk that he might be involved this weekend to get him back into the run of things. But the other thing that kind of to bear in mind is the performance data indicators, where over the course of the whole season, Villa are rated higher than Leicester in terms of the expected goals process. However, excuse me, as we know, Leicester have had heaps of injuries all through the season. It's only really now that they're starting to field close to their best 11 or have their best squad available to them. So I kind of take those longer term trends and figures with a kind of pinch of salt, really, because I think Leicester are better than that. And they have shown in recent weeks that they're much more competitive. They've started to rise into the top half of the table. So yeah, without knowing the team sheets, I can't have Aston Villa as favourites of the King Power. Mentioned before, defeats on the spin. Going back further, it's 6 defeats in 9. They've only won 4 games from 13 in the Premier League, going back to Boxing Day. and they've also lost 10 of 12 trips to teams in 13th and above. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty I don't like about Villa, and there's a lot I do like about Leicester, because for all the issues that we've talked about all season with Leicester being porous defensively and vulnerable and fragile, you look at their record at home when you exclude the top five: 8 wins, 3 draws, 0 defeats. So they tend to do the business at home when they're expected to. So, even if they do field the weekend team, which has been playing in recent weeks, it's still good enough, particularly in forward areas. They've got so much firepower that they can hurt this Villa team. So I think they're massively undervalued here. So I put up Leicester to score over 1.5 goals at plus 140. I think it's a big price. I'm also going to add Leicester as a pick'em, the draw no bet at plus money too. I'd be surprised if Leicester lose this match, and I just think this is an opportunity to get them on side. They should be favourites for this, and I think the market's wrong.
What was a pick'em? Plus 105?
Yeah.
Plus 105 pick'em. I'll add that, obviously, at the end. Yeah, it is one of them games where it just looks like goals. The problem I have really with this game is that Villa went 1-0 down at home to Spurs last time we saw them, and then bullied Spurs for 40 minutes. And then you look at so basically you don't watch the game, you look back and it said Villa 0, Spurs 4. But Villa were they were the better side for more than maybe 50 minutes of this game. But they didn't score early. They didn't get the second goal in the game. They fell 2-0 behind, and then it was curtains. But Villa were really at it. They were together, and they were showing aggressions and everything you'd want from a team. I mean, they're not far off of being okay, but you can't bet on a team that's not far off. So let's have a little look at
at Villa Park as well, Flash, and only Norwich and Everton have lost more games away from home than Aston Villa this season, which is quite a staggering statistic, really. And if you look at the league table, they're only 3 points above Leeds, which is kind of remarkable, really, because we're not hearing anything about Gerrard, and Stinch has already sort of outlined the lack of progress, really, that we probably expected from Villa when he was appointed, really. So, yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they've been in this malaise, and the performances haven't really produced the results we probably expected from Villa. So happy to oppose them this weekend and be proven wrong if things go wrong.
Yeah, Villa are almost like that soup where we've got a new chef and we're just tasting it going, a bit more salt. Oh, a bit less salt. Maybe a bit of pepper. Do you know what I mean? They're not quite getting the right. They've got all the right ingredients, but they're not just getting it right. So let's have a little look at the official picks, please. So it's Leicester team total over 1.5 at plus 140. And we're adding there Leicester draw no bet at plus 105. Stinch, don't complicate it. Over 2.5 goals, minus 115. Who cares who wins? Now we want Leicester to be scoring twice and not getting beat, and everyone else is happy as long as Villa contribute.